everyone.
That's okay.
Moving on. How are you?
I'm absolutely amazing.
We're so close now, aren't we, Charlie?
We're there.
Are we there? Are we there right now?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I've noticed. I'm just feeling this. Sometimes in life, you look back and you go, "That was a dark period," and we're in a dark period right now. And I just feel it's that we've already entered the 10 days of darkness, and it's just different to what we expected. I've felt really dark powers around, and I was talking to somebody else, and there's lots of different spiritual views as to whether we've already been through the period of darkness or what the period of darkness is. But I just feel at this moment in time we're going through a dark period, and I think the day that we'll come out into the light will be the 24th of December.
Yeah, there's a lot of people saying that. There's so many different views. I think the kind of conventional ways of the 10 days of darkness is what people expected over this year, throughout the course of this year, hasn't happened. So it's a bit ambiguous, but I think I'm with you there. I think we are in the 10 days of darkness, not in the sense where everything's shut down and we're going to lose our internet. We've had snippets of that throughout the week. It's in spite of all of that, it's still a brilliant time.
It's a spiritual war, isn't it?
Hugely.
So that's why I think this 10 days of darkness has already happened. For those that are in the spiritual side, I think they feel it. I think those in the third dimensional world haven't got a clue.
And those that are awake, but not in touch with their spiritual side, that are living on the side of fear, are having a hard time at the moment. And I show empathy there. However, given the fact that these 9 months, we have been privy to so much information. We've had choice of who we listen to. Some may resonate with some, and some may, like I may resonate with some, you may resonate with some, and we may not. But there's enough information out there for you to be able to make a good choice and to see that something's not right here. And there's all sorts of low vibrational energy that is permeating at the moment, and this is where the darkness is literally like throwing its toys out the pram, Charlie. Trying to do whatever it can to hold on to the clutches of the old paradigms of the cabal. And I started my journey here with you. I've learned so much. My first show was with you. I've evolved and I continually evolve. I always say I know nothing, Charlie. I'm just evolving, and intuitively where I'm kind of guided to go and see where there is good over evil, like that's happening here, and where evil has permeated. But we need to kind of get our mindsets away from this criticism, this condemnation, this conceit, this I'm better than you, you're better than me, this kind of, that level of energy that's going on within the truth movement at the moment. But in spite of all of that, we are in exciting times, Charlie, for sure.
I've likened this journey to so many times to a puzzle, making a puzzle, and so people can visualize it. I always use Sydney Harbour as the example because it's a puzzle I remember well. And when I was doing the pieces of the sea around the harbour and the pieces of the sky, it was pretty boring. Doing the opera house, doing the bridge was dead easy. Doing the boats was dead easy. But the water and the sky was always difficult. And if you have a piece that looks exactly the same as another piece, the value is not until the picture is complete. When the picture is complete, if the piece is not there, it's very, very noticeable. And sometimes people just think that their piece is better than somebody else's piece. And that's a load of bollocks, because every single piece, I'm just one piece. And every single person out there is one piece. And when we get every piece together, then the picture is very clear. Absolutely. And no piece is greater or less than another piece.
100%. Everyone has their own role that they're playing here. We're all contributing, and guess what? We're contributing to a movement that's supporting the good, the goodliness, the godliness. Yes, some may get it wrong. We may get some information wrong. But hey, everyone that's clutching onto the media right now, how do you know that is true? This is the thing that really kind of upsets me, or used to upset me before, when I got over it and became stronger in this movement, is that I still have the elite, liberal elite, mindsets that surround me, and they think this stuff that I'm doing, they think I've gone barking mad and I've gone crazy and I've gone onto the dark side. And a friend actually said that, Alpa, I'm really, really concerned that you've gone over to the dark side. I've gone over to the dark side because I'm trying to expose child sex trafficking. I happen to align with a man that's actually doing so much for the world. Over the last 312 days, I've done a minimum of 7 hours of research, minimum, a day. And that constitutes me to be aligning with the dark side, where you have just read the front headlines of a tabloid. And you think that because you're kind of clutching onto your titles, that makes you right and that makes me wrong. And I'm not having that. You have to fight back in this as well. There's a sort of a line that you can't let people cross. And when you're fighting, this is a war. Call it spiritual war, Charlie. Call it psychological warfare on people's mind and information war. But yes, we are actually in a war, and the likes of yourself and other truthers are out there fighting for one thing, and that's the truth. The ego has to be eradicated, though, here, and that's what we're fighting, the death of the ego.
And also Satan, by his nature, is evil, and he will try and infiltrate the truth. He will try and portray himself as something different to what he is, and he'll poke and he'll prod and he'll put things in our sight that are fake, that look real. It's very, very interesting. Like yesterday, I had certain discussions, and I had a very open mind up until yesterday about Bill Barr, the former Attorney General, and I didn't know there was something that was right about him. There was something that was not. There was something I couldn't make out. So when he was moved out of office, there was also the comments from Donald Trump were very constructive. Well, I learned yesterday that he's leading the Nasara government.
Oh, wow. Okay.
On the legal side. So he's been moved to that position. And very interesting. Lots of people jumped on the bandwagon going, oh, he's a black hat. He's not a white hat. It turns out maybe he's not. Maybe he is a white hat. But when you hear these sort of things, then they have a lot more value.
Yeah, I've loved Bill Barr from the beginning, but the way I conceptualized all of this is controlled opposition, and it's for us to kind of work a little bit harder. And there weren't so many lines to read between, because right from the start I thought he was good. He's just got that face.
Yeah.
And him and the synergy between him and Trump has been phenomenal. It's just been amazing, and they kind of smirk with each other, and their sort of sense of humor, this hidden humor, and I loved it. And so I was a little bit taken aback, admittedly, and I did feel, okay, something's up here. But we have to be open to, the twists and turns here, Charlie. Who would have thought the executive order, when that came out, and I just thought, wow, when we sort of sat there with the executive order, this is brilliant. This is going to expose everything worldwide, just with the election fraud.
It's very, very important on that point, Alpa, that we point out to people that Donald Trump knows 100% every single state and every single Supreme Court that's corrupt. He has all the evidence, and he's going to expose them one by one. He's not even going to get to the clean ones. He's going to expose the dirty ones, because if you expose the clean ones and they came out and ruled in his favor, he wouldn't be able to drain the swamp. He wouldn't know where the dirt was. So he's doing it one by one to establish who's dirty in each Supreme Court and in every single court. And he's doing it one by one from the dirtiest. So don't expect a clean one to come just yet.
Yeah.
There might be a dirty one that suddenly flips because they realize what's going on.
Definitely.
But at the moment, he's exposing them all one by one.
But we've known this from the beginning, and that for me sort of pieces everything together. It's just like, how is it going to play out? Because if the NSA have it all, let's just put it in perspective. The NSA have it all. So this has actually happened already in real time. The beauty, and I say the beauty of this, is this is teaching us something in this journey. How this is playing out is where the excitement is. I know the roller coaster of emotion gets everybody like, oh my God, what's happening? Everyone has a bit of a hissy fit, like with Barr. But I was like, you know, something's not right here. But I mean, with Tucker Carlson as well.
Yeah.
You know, the way he was orating the news, you know, the tone was different, the frequencies were different. So somewhere along the lines, there was something different where we had to then decipher and then discern what was going on. And those are the two key words here this year: deciphering and discerning information. For sure, you know, and it's teaching us something here. We are evolving, and we should be evolving. But yeah, it's this exposure is brilliant. So coming closer to the 24th, Charlie, what are your expectations, or what information do you have for my viewers, at least, who are excited about me doing this with you today?
I'm not really planning anything. I just know that anybody who knows Donald Trump, and the two people that I speak to that know him are Anne van der Steel and Mel Kay. They know him personally, and they've known him personally for years. Mel's family go to the same church for 30 years, and he's always attending the same church. So they know these people. One thing that anyone who knows Donald Trump is he's not very keen on bank holidays. He's very much a hardworking man that knows, like I do, the more you put in, the more you get out.
Yeah.
So if you keep taking days off, you're not making money. So for him to give away a bank holiday is big. Yeah. It's not a little thing, it's big. He doesn't give them away for nothing. And he's given away the bank holiday on the 24th of December, just for 1 year, not for any more. Now, there's a number of things that I should point out here. When you get 24th as a bank holiday, that then means you've got 4 consecutive bank holiday days where the banks are closed for 4 consecutive days. That, in my brain, calculates to something going on. Shutting the banks for 4 days, something is going on. It's not, yes, it could be to do with a very, very nice Christmas. Could be. It could be the reset. It could be the revaluation. It could be a lot of things. But I think right now, we're going between now and the 24th, we're going to get gentle drips of exposure for those who are awake and aware. I had some funny drips of exposure today where the nurse that had the injection passed out during the interview. Wake up, people out there. You are so stupid that it started with William Shakespeare getting it. That was a tragedy. Then you got this crisis actor that they stuck the needle into a cushion behind her arm, pulled it out, and it was still absolutely clean, no mark on it. And when are you going to wake up? Or maybe you're not. Maybe you are that programmed, you don't see it. And then when they give a nurse the injection, she then talking about it, then passes out, and you still think the vaccine is absolutely wonderful. Some people are incredibly stupid.
Charlie, though, but on that point, they are, and I always used to say, if you recall at the start, you know, let's not call them sheep, they're just the sleepers, because that was all the way in July. We're here in December now. There's been enough information, and I'm sorry if I offended anyone, but wake the hell up. They are sheep, because yesterday I went to the mall. Charlie, they have vending machines of masks now. And on all the arrows, it's like that game, you know, those games you get in the arcades. Look how they've done the predictive programming. You know, those dance games you get and you have to sort of jump on all the arrows and you have the 2 imprints of the feet. Yeah. Oh my God, they've been preparing us for this for a while. But people are adhering to this. And every single person, I kid you not, Charlie, was wearing a mask. I played a game. I walked around the mall saying, let me see one person, unless they were eating. Every single person complying. So what does this tell us, Charlie? There's disparity between what's going on in reality at grassroots. It's all good and very well, the likes of you and I, that are sat here, you know, determined to in this quest for truth and saying what we do. But what does concern me is when I went out for the first time in a while, oh my God, really?
I find it funny.
I do.
I end up laughing at them, and they look at me like like I'm the alien.
Yeah, it is. And these COVID tests and I mean, what was going on with Matt Hancock and his crocodile tears on, I mean, really, come on.
He was laughing his tits off. He weren't crying.
I know he wasn't.
He was laughing his tits off at how stupid everybody is. Because what they're doing now is they're testing to see how stupid they are. The picture of Boris Johnson sat there like a dummy on a swing with a child in the background playing in a tube. You know, when are people going to wake up to that they're being taken the piss out of? They're just not getting it, because they're all this third dimensional group of people that are just not one of them has looked inside themselves for truth, and they're just looking on the television, and it's full of lies. And when the television finally goes down, when the mainstream media gets taken down, I don't know what these people are going to do. They're going to panic, and that's where we come in, I suppose, to sort of guide them. But
yes, no, we do. But it's not just the TV. I think it's the titles that they ascribe to. So, for example, you've got the likes of the pseudo-intelligent titles, The Guardian, The Independent, The Financial Times, where, you know, the bankers and the educated folks think that they're superior in terms of their knowledge, and all they've done is got on the train, read their sort of Guardian, the Financial Times, because they don't read the Metro or the Sun or the Daily Mirror. They don't realize it's all one organization, effectively. Yeah. Who owns the media? Yes, it's split into 6 different companies, but essentially it's under the umbrella of who? The Bilderberg Group.
Of course it is. Of course it is.
Right? So let's just go to the at grassroots, this is what's happening, but let's go to the root of who owns what. Follow the money. Follow the money. And it's so simple to someone like me, who I haven't considered myself to be, you know, an academic, but when you follow the money and you see the level of corruption, and you can see how much deception has gone on this planet, surely somewhere, like, get rid of what you think is true. And that's not the media. That's definitely not the media.
No, they're in for a big shock. But it's been, for me, it's been a really exciting journey.
You've done very well with your book, Charlie. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
That's what I wanted to say first. I really am proud of you. You've done phenomenally well.
Well, it was as I said in the book, I was offered the opportunity 10 years ago to write my life story, and I was offered £1 million to do it, and I chose to turn it down. And this time I decided to write my story when asked, and there was no £1 million involved in it. It was just writing my story for the want of to tell the truth. And I had a ghostwriter who wrote it for me, Danusia, who was absolutely amazing. And we did around 50 hours of Zoom conversations. And then when she'd written the book, I then went into the studio and recorded my voice reading the story. So the audiobook is my voice reading my life story, which was actually quite emotional, to relive my life and to speak it, you know, to let people into areas. There's still quite a bit of stuff that I've missed out, because I need to check as to whether I can tell the public about these things. But they've already started pushing me to do a second book. But we'll wait and see. Let's get this one.
Well, you have to be vulnerable to do. It's showing your vulnerability, and in spite of whatever. One of the things that I've learned coming into the public arena, Charlie, is that nothing prepares you for this.
No.
Nothing prepares you for this. And, you know, there I was on Charlie Ward's show at the start, and I thought, yes, I'm going to wake up the Asian community, and everyone's going to feel really bad about what's happened with the children. How naive. And then, you know, I found my own way. I found my own voice. I'm evolving all the time. You've been doing this for a lot longer. Your story's huge. You are open, raw, and honest. And writing your personal life story is not easy. You're kind of like, you know, wearing your heart on your sleeves. And, you know, I think a lot of people will really appreciate and do appreciate what you do, Charlie. I do, especially.
One of my favorite comments came from my best friend, Stevie G, who's been mentioned in the book, and he sent me a message. He said, I've known you for 35 years. I was completely unaware you could read or write. Now you've written a book. And I just thought that was lovely. Because it's not something that we've discussed in the past. And he just said, well, he's absolutely amazed. He's thrilled to bits. And he's just in shock at the following. What people don't know, and I haven't even gone into, was before we started this journey, I went through a phase about 4 or 5 years ago, might be more, of being on Twitter. And I had more followers than anybody in southern Spain. I had over 500,000 followers.
This is before?
This is way 5 years ago, 5, 6 years ago, just by tweeting out silly stuff and just having a bit of fun. And then that's why my Twitter account now is Dr. Charlie Ward 1, because my original one was Dr. Charlie Ward. And I just got sick and tired of it 4 years ago, and I thought I closed it down, so I lost all the followers. But I just did it for a bit of fun, just to have a little bit of fun. But because there was no real heart or soul in it, it was just a bit of fun, and that fizzles out like it does in life. Whereas what we've got here is we've got a truth and a journey, and this could go on for a while, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Yesterday, I managed to cancel one of the Zooms because I had 4 Zooms, but I had 5 booked, and 3 of them were in a space of 3 hours. So it was literally finish one, start on to the next, finish one, start on to the next. You do 3, and actually end up doing 3 hours, 45 minutes non-stop. After that, you're like, whoa.
Your brain gets fried.
Yeah. It started off, just to give you a smile, it started off with David Weiss.
Oh, nice.
On the flat Earth,
right,
which was incredible. I loved that. I always thought the world was round, but he's convincing me to look further, because some of the stuff he gave me was like, I've got to look at this, because now I don't believe, I have to look at everything I've been told in my life and see what's true and what's not.
You do.
And I told him I'd flown a certain path, and I said, look, I flew from here to here, and I was talking about Sydney to LA, and he showed me what the flight plan is on the globe, and then he showed me what the flight plan is on the flat Earth. And I was like, that's interesting. It's a straight line on the flat Earth, and yet it's a big loop like this on the Earth. And I was like, okay, now you've got my attention.
Yeah.
So he was the first one, and then the second one was Michael Jaco and JCK.
Yeah, they're brilliant. I love Josie. She's just an amazing.
She's adorable.
I love Josie. I love her so much. She's just an amazing, amazing lady.
Her harmony with Michael Jaco is incredible.
Yeah,
because they're both spiritual, and they look at it through slightly different aspects, but with exactly the same vision.
Yeah,
it's beautiful. And then the final one last night was Rachel Ham, who had a very tough upbringing, was in a cult, and was abused as a child by somebody in the church, and such a beautiful soul now. So the journey yesterday was, I went into it feeling tired, but I got so much fresh energy from every single one.
Yeah.
That when I finished, I was absolutely wide awake, and I was like,
wow,
11:30 at night now. What do I do? So
yeah, well, you're doing like 3 or 4 a day, aren't you, Charlie? Every day for the last 300 days.
And we're doing one Christmas Day as well. It's Christmas Day special.
You should do a live.
No, we were going to do a live, but it's always good in case there's any naughty language.
Well, this will continue, Charlie, as you were saying, even after everything gets revealed, because if we consider how many people are still asleep, this is not just going to say, right, well, when the exposure becomes revealed, it's all going to stop. I think you have a big journey ahead in this, and we all do. We all do. We have a part a role that we're playing. So
I've likened it very much like the people that are not awake are in a dark cave. And if you shine the light in their face, they'll get blinded. But if you shine it on the floor so they can see their way out, you'll guide them out. The trouble is I want to give them a jolly good slap round the face as they come out and say, why the hell didn't you wake up a lot earlier?
Yeah.
But I've got to control those emotions.
Do you know what? I've been having them, and I've put my hands up, right? I really have. I was at the end of my tether last week because my dad went and got the COVID test done. And I've been saying to him, I've been showing all the stuff about Trump, and he follows CNN, but then I've been pushing him away and pulling him away, sorry. And he's like, he's momentarily like, oh yeah, okay, this makes sense. And then I said, don't you dare get the vaccine done. And he went and got the COVID test done because he wasn't feeling very well. And now he's just been ridden with headaches.
Not surprised.
For headaches. It's got that luciferate in there.
I've now got 104 cases of people who've had the test and then within 1 month have contracted AIDS, full-blown AIDS, HIV.
Yeah, it's just been really stressful. I literally went crazy with him. I said, why are you doing this? And this is the thing, there are people out there celebrating, Charlie, that the vaccine's out.
Yeah.
There are, I kid you not, there are people that are celebrating that the vaccine's out, that, oh, thank God, it's so pathetic at grassroots. So you're right, I will join you in slapping those people.
The thing is that the doctors are being paid to vaccinate people. If you actually do any research at all, away from mainstream media, you'll find out the whole idea. Even ask a lecturer if you can't be bothered to do some research about about Bill Gates, and it will tell you that his plan with the vaccination is to reduce the population by 2 billion. Now, if you want to be part of that 2 billion, then great. You're incredibly stupid because you're missing off the most wonderful time to be alive. But wake up, for goodness sake.
But Charlie, with all the comms that we try to decipher where the vaccines inadvertently mean arrests, and that's what's really the truth. There is a lot of fear at the moment, even amongst the truthers, that has there been a batch of the bad vaccine that has been let loose. Yes. And that's really kind of where people are worried. And
this is all staged. This is all staged to wake people up.
I mean, what's been on the news, I 100% agree that that's all staged, but there is this concern, because I have spoken to some doctors as well, and they're saying, Alpa, the bad batch of the vaccine has been let loose in some health.
There's no vaccine that's actually good for you. This is the fact of life, that over the years, you've got vaccines for the flu. There's lots of them there. We have an immune system. God gave us an immune system. Our immune system is perfectly good enough to combat any form of virus, or when it's not a virus, infection or germs. More than capable. But we're not looking after it because we're eating shit and we're not exercising. And when you do that, you're walking straight into problems. If you have a healthy diet and you do exercise, you build up your immune system. If you go outside in the sunshine, you're getting vitamin E. All these things are necessary to build up your immune system. The idiots that are still washing their hands are getting rid of your defense system. The people who are wearing masks are destroying your defense system. You will need a vaccination to take you off this planet, because you're no good to man nor beast anyway. Because you're sharing a brain cell with Satan.
Yep.
You're that stupid.
Honestly, it has to be said like that now. Seriously, it's got to that point. 9 months in with the hokey cokey rules. You can go and do your shopping for Christmas, but you can't go out and have a meal with a friend or have a coffee with a friend. So all the restaurants are closed. I mean, people still, like, literally.
They believe it.
So the virus knows that you won't catch it while you're doing your Christmas shopping, but you will catch it,
It'll only attack you if there's groups of more than 6 of you.
Yeah.
There's 7 of you coming after you.
Yeah, look at all the various, but the thing is, people are still stupid enough to believe this, Charlie. Yeah, they really are stupid. And some of the things that I'm hearing with my friends, she was absolutely having a nightmare the other day because her sister said, you need to have a COVID test before you can come to my house. And it's so ridiculous what's happening within families and into relationships that people have gone balmy.
Yep.
It really is like the apocalypse.
Yep. Yeah.
And we're going to have to endure this for some time. That's the reality. So people who are sort of where we're at and that are getting frustrated and, you know, have this roller coaster, we have to sort of really suck it up and be a bit patient. But yeah, the amount of people I beat up in my head, Charlie.
Yeah. You and I have talked to a number of doctors, and you know, Dr. Oz, Dr. Q, Dr. Andrew Kaufman, Dr. Shiva, Dr. Rashid.
Have you spoken to Dr. Shiva?
No, I haven't personally, but I've seen a lot of his interviews.
Yeah,
And I've talked to lots of different doctors. I'm talking to Dr. Connie Stern today, and I had a lovely conversation with Dr. Elke de Klerk, who's the leader of 1,000 doctors in Europe against the, and they've made it incredibly clear. I mean, they've spelt it out. When doctors get paid to vaccinate you, something is wrong. You know, normally you'd have to pay for a vaccine, but no, these companies will give it to you and then pay you for administering it. If that doesn't wake you up, nothing will. They're paying doctors to vaccinate.
That's what everyone says. It's just a conspiracy theory. I'm fed up of that. You know, doctors are saying.
Look, if it's a conspiracy theory, if that's what you're saying, then you deserve to have the injection. You deserve it. You need a little prick in your ass or your arm. I mean, for crying out loud.
I know. But yeah, the doctors are saying this. Doctors, well-established, reputable doctors. It's not even, they're bringing in the science, actually, the medical facts.
Yeah.
And people are still in the stats of what the media is saying. It's ridiculous.
If you take the 4 or 5 cases shown on television, the first one, William Shakespeare from Stratford-on-Avon. Did no alarm bells ring? Okay. The second one is the crisis actress that's been on television so many times, same face, and if you look very carefully at the needle, still had the plastic on it. And then the third one, the doctor that had it, and then was talking about, and you still think it's a good idea to have the injection. I mean, some people, and the thing is with these people, you're absolutely right. They read the Guardian, they read the Times, the Sunday Times, and they haven't got a fucking clue what's going on. They are that stupid. You couldn't make it up because they read the Sunday Times.
Yes.
Or the Guardian. They think they're clever. Yeah. They're being shown up as being the thickest bastards on the planet.
Charlie, just listen to this, right? When Donald Trump has been tweeting like furiously on his Twitter, right? And also on Facebook. So I had this conversation with a friend. He said, Alpa, you're gonna give up now. Like, so patronizing and such a well-meaning character. You are going to give up now, Alpa. I am concerned for your crazy and madness. And you know, he sent me a screenshot of the Financial Times saying, look, now that we can at least start getting back to a bit of normalcy, the stock markets are up, blah blah blah, etc. And Trump has, you know, humiliated himself enough and he's conceded now. Are you going to give up? And I just banged with Trump's tweet saying, I will not concede. Do you know what he said? Source. I'm like, sorry, I'm just showing you the man himself is saying he hasn't conceded. And his automatic response was, source, you know, where have you got this from? I'm like the man himself. You know, so I said, okay, so you've gurgitated the tabloids, the front headlines of every single sort of pseudo-intelligent title and paper, and you think that constitutes reliability.
I know.
But you have to laugh at it. Yeah, I'm having a great time with this, to be fair. There's a bit of tongue-in-cheek here. A bit of tongue-in-cheek here, because they're going to feel ridiculously stupid because we're taking away their belief system. And we're challenging that. And because the cabal has permeated this sense of pseudo-intelligence, arrogance within these establishments, they don't know how to think within. They don't know how to go within. Their spiritual sort of prowess has been taken away from them. Right.
Did you see the zoomed in picture of the Guantanamo Bay and the campsite next to it?
The what next to it?
The campsite.
No.
You couldn't make it up. It's called the Cabal campsite.
Have you seen the Monkey Works? Have you come across him with all the flight traffic?
Oh yes, yeah,
To Guantanamo Bay. I mean, like suddenly, really? Is there like some Christmas fair going on there?
And they've also taken in a prison ship because they've run out of space.
Yeah. At the start, Charlie, you said there was, I remember there were over like 450,000 sealed indictments. I'm surely that number's gone up.
No, there's 450,000 as far as I think everybody, the indictments were ready. There was 150,000 people involved. So some of them had more than one indictment. So that was fairly clear. But 150,000 people, just to give you an idea, I think the largest prison in the UK has around 5,000 people in it.
Right.
That's the largest prison in the UK. So 150,000 prisoners is a lot of people. Now, I do have some intel that is not public knowledge. Obviously, a lot are going to Guantanamo Bay, but there is also another location up in the Arctic Circle that's being used.
Okay. A lot of people have been executed, I think. Like the really evil ones have.
The ones that have been executed, it's their confessions have been recorded, their case has been recorded, and everything has been recorded in the correct manner.
Yeah. See, if we refer to the article, to the executive order 2018, that stipulates that any propaganda and anyone that's been indirectly or directly involved in the foreign interference through this Dominion software fraud, voter fraud, that's also been relaying false information. I mean, look at how this executive order just tackles everything all in one. So all their assets and their companies will be seized. And that's already actually happened, because if we go back to, I think, I can't remember, maybe you can tell me, when there was 8,000 CEOs that just happened to resign all of a sudden. So this was quite some time ago. So if we kind of apply a little bit of logic here and sort of piece together the timeframes, this has all happened. So there may be some discrepancies with the amount of people that have had the sealed indictments, whatever, but not everyone's obviously going to be executed, because some people are indirectly connected to this. They've known about it, so that constitutes for them to be punished, and that's most of the CEOs. So why did that happen? Why is no one questioning that? The press is going to be completely gone, and the reporters that have been reporting false information, falsehood, they're going to be in trouble. So this executive order was very important, and it's literally killing like billions of birds with one stone. And it's playing out. So this 10 days of darkness, going back to what we were saying right at the start, I'm in agreement with you. It's unfolding in various ways. It's the exposure, bit by bit, the breadcrumbing, and that's happening at an accelerated pace. But also there was one train of thought that Trump may step down due to the fact that this happened under a national emergency, and General Flynn may take over Nasara and Jassara. And then because of the blockchain, something to do with the blockchain technology, people are going to start voting again. So there'll have to be a new election. And then Trump will be inaugurated, obviously, in January. There's something like that. So I don't know what your views are on that thought.
I'm just going to sit back and watch the show because I'm not in a hurry to find out, because I know the destination. I'm enjoying the journey.
Yeah, for sure.
But putting accurate timelines on, don't know. I know the end result, and I know, I'm just waiting to see how it plays out. And at the moment, there's 2 days that are very, very critical in the next few days. Monday the 21st, because it's Carla's birthday, my daughter, obviously.
Happy birthday.
No, but the planet alignment is very, very important. And then obviously the 24th, Christmas Eve, is a bank holiday for a reason. And those 2 dates, next Monday and next Friday, very interesting days.
We're moments away. We're so close now.
Yeah.
And with what's going on the 21st, Charlie, I'd like to say that I think when we had these expectations in 2012, where everyone thought, oh my God, the world's going to end, and there was this huge hype, similar sort of things happening now to the 21st. And I urge people to literally, this is the time where you go inside properly, you go internalize what's going on. There have been a lot of light codes that have been permeated into our earth, and I can feel the energy so much. I really feel, I'm feeling so much like the palpitations are happening. It's obviously excitement as well, because, you know, I am also enjoying the show, and it's like, oh, what's going to happen here? It's like a Netflix series. I don't know what series we're on, but this time is so precious. It is so precious for us to detoxify ourselves, you know, and go inwards and take some time to really process what's been going on and see where you're at on that journey. So, you know, the expectation that something massive, there's going to be this big burst of energy that, you know, implants the earth. Let's not look at that. Let's look inside, and let's, you know, enjoy the energy that's ushering onto the planet, because so much is happening. And you're right, it is a brilliant time to be alive. It is, and enjoy the journey for sure.
And for anybody that wants to get in contact with their spiritual side, this is not about religion, this is about your spiritual side. The first step is to stop buying the newspapers and turn the television off. That's the first step. And if you want to find out some information, have a look on BitChute and Patreon and Brand YouTube and all these other ones, because now even on YouTube, it's been completely contaminated because it's run by people in the wrong place. But the minute you do that, and then the other thing is looking inside yourself. As a child growing up, I used to look up at the sky and talk to God. Well, God actually is inside us. And when you start to look inside yourself, then you can reset your moral compass, and you can connect.
Yep.
You can connect, and when you start resetting your moral compass, then you can start to trust your intuition. So when you see something that doesn't make sense, it clearly doesn't make sense. Sometimes in life we see things and we know that we know something is not right.
Yep.
We don't know what it is, but once you've got connected with yourself and your spiritual side inside you, nothing to do with religion, your spiritual side, then you'll start to get clarity as to what's happening in the world, and you'll find peace. And right now, COVID-19 coronavirus won't kill you, but fear will.
100%. Charlie, honestly, it's been so nice to speak to you today. I just want to thank you, because I think I've really evolved in these 7 months, you know, from our first chat. I've sort of all these twists and turns, and what I thought was true, what maybe perhaps wasn't. You know, you're constantly learning, and I'd like to leave everyone saying that life is progressive growth. You're continuously evolving. As long as you keep it heart-centered and be true to yourself, you know, you'll navigate yourself in this journey of life effortlessly. You're going to have twists and turns, but remain true to yourself. And Charlie, thank you so much. It's always lovely to see you.
You too. You too. And you have a wonderful weekend. And next week is Christmas.
Yes, and it will be a
very, very happy Christmas.
Very, very Merry Christmas. Thank you, Charlie.
Cheers, Alpa. Lots